Hello, dear viewers. We are glad to welcome you today at the first episode of a new show, The Experts Talk, where volunteers of the Creative Society provide a platform for professionals and specialists to discuss what changes they can bring to the field of their profession in order to make it work for people. The goal of this talk and listen to as many experts who really understand the issues and what is the most important to improve. And also to share their ideas on how to solve it and make this field beneficial for all of people.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Jonathan. And now I would like to introduce our two guests today who are experts in the media.
Hello, dear viewers. We are glad to welcome you today at the first episode of a new show, The Experts Talk, where volunteers of the Creative Society provide a platform for professionals and specialists to discuss what changes they can bring to the field of their profession in order to make it work for people. The goal of this talk and listen to as many experts who really understand the issues and what is the most important to improve. And also to share their ideas on how to solve it and make this field beneficial for all of people.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Jonathan. And now I would like to introduce our two guests today who are experts in the media and who will help us better understand media and its influence on people. And I would like to introduce Sparsh Sumani, who is a CEO of ALAGS from India. Welcome. And also Rakib Hasan Mahdi, who is a graduating journalist from Bangladesh. Welcome, Rakib. And we have invited you today because you are the independent experts so that you can, first of all, exchange experience between each other and communicate with each other. What problems each of you actually face in your area that is common for all of you? Which problems are actually the most obvious right now in the media?
Sure. So one of the major reasons for me to start with the news wing of ALAGS was that I was very much dissatisfied with what our media has to offer. Right now, the modus operandi of major media channels, especially the mainstream media, is to actually identify a problem, then promote that problem so much that it spreads like a wildfire, then cover that problem so much and then increase their TRP, get more and more money, get more and more funding, get more and more advertisement, influence people for what they actually want, and then just make money out of it. Until then, they wait for some other problem to arise. And that's what the modus operandi is, and this needs to change. So this is one thing that I really find very much, I'd say, devastating in this particular scenario, because media is something where the common people, us together, rely for our daily needs of information to find out what is actually happening in the world. But right now, media channels just want to cover something that will make them some good amount of money, that will make them earn great profits. And what is truth, what isn't, that doesn't really matter for them. What actually matters is how much money they make. And this is something which is very unfortunate for this particular generation. I'm sure Mr. Mahdi would like to add something over it.
Yes, actually, as a graduate student of journalism and I'm working with the local media, actually I'm talking about it's the modern time. So it's not the time of on a newspaper. I think nowadays social media is a big platform, and most of the young people, young generation, those are involving in social media, and they are first about any information first on their Facebook or Instagram page. So I think now the biggest platform is our social media. So I think the influence of social media is very much important, and the alarming issue that these social media is manipulating in very much way. This is the negative side. A lot of big countries, a lot of powerful countries using this social media for their own purpose. This is I think this is called the worst virus in consumerist format of society, and it's very much awful things. Nowadays, a lot of countries facing a lot of awful things, war, food prices, inflation, political crisis. But if you open the social media, you will see that a lot of shit things, and it's not necessary to highlight those things like some celebrity news or some awful things. This is I think bullshit. We have to focus on the suffering of people. We have to focusing on the humanitarian organization. Those are working for peoples, and we have to touch with the local people. We have to touch with the common people. Those are suffering, and I think manipulation are doing by those people who are working for money or singing for money. Actually, this creative society, I think the most important part of creative society that they are just eradicate to the consumer format of society. They just wanted to change the format of society. That's why I like the creative society. And all sector, not on the social media, not only the sector of media, all sector, this consumer format of society, I think this is the virus. The current virus is consumer format of society, and this format of society just manipulate all the things. Also the social media, also the mainstream media, also the so-called popular news channel, and they are just spreading the false news, lame news, rather than the important issues, rather than the important subject. People suffering, people's hunger problems, inflation, political problems. This is the main problems currently, but they are broadcasting such lame news. This is not necessary. So I think we have to change the format of society. If we are able to change the format of society, all the problems will be eradicated. Not only the problems of social media, not only the problems of political problems. And if you see the information of creative society, I think this is one important foundation is the free information of true news, I think. So I think we have to build creative society to stop manipulation of social media, stop manipulation of mainstream media. And as a working in a journalism sector, I see how information is manipulated by the common peoples, and this is so much awful things. So I think we have to stop this by building creative society. This is the main things.
Thank you for your both answer on the problem, and I wanted to deep dive a little bit on this idea of the consumer format of society in which we are living in, and the way information is being spread. It seems that information, rather than just being something for people to know about their environment and to be informed, become simply like any other goods that is being sold for a person or for a group of companies to make money out of it, where the quality of that goods, of that information, doesn't really matter, or the truth of that information doesn't matter. And that's what you mentioned, Sparsh. Can you tell us more about this idea of linking the consumer format of society and the type of information that we are being bombarded with as of now?
Of course, so these days we are just saying what some major brands want us to see. Their duty is to influence us people to increase their demand. They want us to just buy the products. They want us to feel in such a way so that they can later target us. If not directly, then there are various ways of targeting the consumers to actually increase their profits. And this money-making mindset is one of the major principles of this consumerist format of society, which is not working, actually. These, we talk about the forces of demand, supply, price mechanism. It's very good at theoretical level. But is it actually solving the needs of the real people, us? I still doubt that very much. And that's something where the problem starts. This is how things are working. If the media is fed with money, they are done. They do not care. And false news is still another option. But when they manipulate the real news, it's even hazardous. Another problem with this media is that they focus upon talking just about the problems, which actually escalate the problems. They never talk about what us individuals can do to solve this out. If their duty is to spread awareness on this particular planet, why are they talking about just problems? Why are not they focusing upon the solutions like we do through these sort of international discussions? We just not talk about the problems. We even cover the solutions, be it the conferences at Creative Society, be it the international discussions. But overall, if you talk to the mainstream media, they just want to focus upon the problems so that they can increase these problems and get more and more funding. And it's not just the media, there are other so-called intergovernmental organizations which are working for that. Their duty is to spread the problem so that they can make money out of it. And that is the really painful truth of today's consumerist society. We should focus more on the non-profit segments of media instead of just focusing about either state-run media or the corporate-run media. We should focus upon something like us individuals are bringing our own small ventures up, not working entirely for profits, but to make an impact, to actually make this planet a better place to live. And this is how, instead of funding these big media houses, those who can actually fund, or the government start funding us people with their small startups, small ventures in this particular media field, who are actually interested to talk about and to bring up some solutions and widespread them, I think it would be much more beneficial. But again, our consumerist society would not even allow that, because people want suspense, people want some spices so that they think and keep talking endlessly and they increase their watch time, which is not working entirely.
Indeed, that's very true, and thank you for emphasizing about this idea of there is different type of information, there is and different ways the consumer format of society is treating information. Either they focus so much on the problem because it's an emotional thing and people will click, they will watch more of their content because they are focusing on very dramatic things, but without trying to bring a solution to those and trying to emphasize more and more. There is another case I think that we can say is when something they don't want to show, they will just disregard it and maybe not cover as much of some of the topics that are very important. During the last conference, we talked a lot about climatic disasters and the way that those disasters are covered in some countries, or maybe in many countries, is not always the same. Rakib, we know that you have actually some information about some climatic condition in Bangladesh, as well regarding the fashion industry and the way that clothes are being produced. Can you maybe tell us more about maybe those issues first, so we know what is happening, and also what type of coverage and truthful coverage can you hear from the media?
Thank you. Actually, it's very much interesting thing. Actually, our last global conference main topics was climate catastrophe, climate crisis. And actually, Bangladesh and India both are the South Asian region, and those regions are always the main victims of natural climate disaster, natural climate catastrophe. And recently, we have faced the massive floods on the northeast region of India and Bangladesh, and hundreds of people already died, and a lot of people being the victims of these massive floods. And actually, cyclones, floods, and this kind of tropical storms are the normal things, are the normal case of natural climate disaster, and the geographical topology of these regions are the very much victims of natural climate disaster. Actually, if you see these regions' geographical position, you will easily can understand that why these regions are mainly victim of this natural climate disaster. Actually, in some recent years, natural climate disasters are dramatically, exponentially rising, and that's why it is so much alarming issue. And in every recent years, a lot of people are being died due to a natural climate disaster. And in recent days, you will see on maybe on social media that in many regions the temperature is so much rising, and this is so much abnormal in our South Asian region. And Bangladesh is also affecting in massive floods and abnormal rainfall in our region, and this is too much atypical in this region. And one more thing that I wanted to highlight, that the fashion industry of Bangladesh, this is I think is special, and we also see on our last global conference about these topics. And Bangladesh is the world's second largest garments exporting countries, and currently 4.62 thousand garment factories in Bangladesh, and where 4.5 million workers are working in these sectors. And about Rana Plaza catastrophe, this is happening in 2013, that are seen on our last global conference. And before this catastrophe, 4.88 thousand garments factories was in Bangladesh. And after this catastrophe, a lot of garments factories are being stopped, and in 2014, it's reduced to 4.22 thousand garments factories, and most of the garments workers are being forced to be unemployed. And I like to give a real example of that. One of my uncles, the younger brother of my mom, he was a commercial officer of a renowned garments factory, and after the Rana Plaza catastrophe, he forced to quit his job, and now he's a government officer. So you can easily understand that the Rana Plaza catastrophe gave a big blow in the garments factory. And as Bangladesh is the world's second largest garments exporting countries, and it's exporting its 80% of garments products in EU and North American fashion industries. So I think Bangladesh is a major countries who involving the world fashion sector. So I think we have to know about the real condition of these fashion industries, how these expensive clothes are being made, and who are the main workers of making these expensive clothes. Actually, you will be so much surprised that the real condition of garments worker in Bangladesh. Actually, I'm born in a city near the capital city of Dhaka, and these small cities are 200 garments factories. And from my childhood, I am seeing the brutal condition of garments worker, actually how they are living, how poor and miserable conditions they are just living. But they are the main workers of producing clothes in garments factories. And you'll be surprised that their average wages are monthly 100 and 120 US dollars. So it's very much less than the expensive clothes those are selling on the so-called popular fashion brand. So I think this is the worst example of consumer-friendly society, though in recent years, government are trying to improve the condition of garments worker. They improve the condition of working facilities in the garment sectors, but the condition is not still up to the mark. So I think this was the one of the main topics of our last global conference. So I think it's the brutal condition on reality. Though we are seeing on the clear picture on garments world fashion brands, but the real condition is so much suffering, so much brutal in Bangladesh. So thank you.
Oh, thank you so much, Rakib, and thank you for the update, the climate situation, the floods, and all these things. For instance, I didn't know about it. And, my question is, are these things actually covered by your local or main media? Do people know about it? Because, every problem or situation can be solved easily if people are informed of the problems. So if people know what is happening, they can unite and they can change something. The same thing for you, Sparsh. The local problems of India. I mean, do people really truly know honestly about what is going on? Or it is just your media covering these things?
People, yes, they do know about all these problems because they are very much widespread. They are very much, of course, they are very much covered. But no one tells us what to do to avoid these problems. And that is where the main issue comes. People are, they are showing us pictures and names of those people who died in these floods. We are just saying that, okay, see, the situations are like just horrible, but no one tells us what to do. No one tells us how small steps can help us combat this climate change, which is just knocking our doors. And sometimes it just feels that some parts, like these floods, these cloudbursts, are now getting inevitable. And there's nothing being done about it. And the first thing that can be done is to spread awareness with how exactly these issues can be solved. There should be experts who are in their own field, like, you know, in the weather and the geography and all these things. Plus, the reports that they actually inform us about, there are no warnings or some sort of accurate predictions about these natural disasters coming up. It's just that once the disaster has eaten away all these lives, it's only then that a rapid response force comes up and starts solving the issue. But it is done after the 80% disaster, 80% loss had already occurred. And this is something. Why are we not talking about the solutions? Why are we not talking about what individuals can take small steps to just solve it out? Talking about the exploitation of workers, there are brands in this consumerist format of society which are actually exploiting the workers, and they just make cheap goods, then they just put their brands over it, double triple the price, and sell it all over the world. This is one thing. Another aspect, further encouraging and spreading these problems, is the linear approach of those fast fashion brands. They just have a linear approach. They want the product to be made not so durable, not so sustainable products, and they just want to bombard it all over the world. And then people buy over it, and of course, they're not at all durable. They are just there to have some sort of trend, some sort of fashion. And yes, 1 week, 2 weeks, they are over, new products are on those shelves, and people are also bored, so they just buy enough new products and they are done. Those products are lying behind in their closet. There are no donations, because even these products cannot be donated. They are not so durable for that. These products are not at all environmentally sustainable. And thanks to our media, no one talks about this. They just talk about, okay, this is the new fashion, this actor wore this in this particular brand shoe, or this just happened in this particular award function. Yay, let's buy the replica from one of the great brands which are based in the West, and they're exploiting people in the Southeast Asia, and of course harming the environment, and no one talks about it. They just talk how trendy and how exciting these dresses are, how trendy these clothes are, which is not going to work, which there's no solution. And if there are solutions, there are experts who can actually guide us, who can actually help us solve it out. But again, our media, they just don't have any profits to talk about it. Because if these problems will get solved so easily, what would they talk about? They want problems for their business. That's something that I'm really concerned about.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, thank you. Yes, you're absolutely right. And Rakib, would you like to add something to what Sparsh was saying?
I think two more things is very much important. One thing is in information, and then is when we spread the information, the real condition of the world, then everybody are just think about it, then everybody are talking about the solution. So first thing, if we talk about the information, so the main sector of spreading the information, we can use the media, social media first of all, then the mainstream media, then the so-called the famous channel. So I think if we talked about the spreading the information, I think we are organizing the international discussion. So a lot of experts from different part of the world just talking about their real experience, real-time experience in different sectors. So I think this is so much helpful to spreading the information. And if we are spreading from our possible way to tell the real truth about in different kind of sectors. So it will be so much helpful in our information sector, because the building creative society, the first step is to information about creative society. And if we talked about the real condition of the world, then people can able to understand, because first of all, a lot of people don't believe about the climate change. So now we can able to spreading the real example of that the climate change is real. So I think if we talk about first of all to spreading the information, then people can able to understand, yes, we have to change this problem, change the real format, consumer format of society. So then we can able to talk about the solution of this problem. So first of all, we have to know about the problems, what is the problems in different kind of sectors, then we able to talk about the solution. So I think first priority is to informing the different kind of problems to people, because a lot of people don't know about the problems of climate crisis, problems about fashion industries, problem about refugee, problems about human trafficking. So I think last global conference is so much important, because this is so much informative. A lot of experts are talking about different kind of problems, so we can able to understand the real problems in different kind of sectors. So then we can perceive that the condition is so much trouble. So we can we have to change this format of society. We have to talk about how we can solve these problems. Then second steps is solving this problem. So I think information sector is important, because first of all we have to know about the problems, then we can able to solve this problem.
Great, thank you for your insight, both of you, on that topic, and summarizing very well all of the issues and the problem that we can see through the media. Once again, either regarding the coverage of the information, regarding the truthfulness of the information, and regarding the focus of that information. And I think it's on this part that we would like to illustrate a little bit the situation, and watching a video that the Creative Society project made. It is obvious that the focus of information directly impacts the future and our ability to solve problems. Media and broadcasters of information need to really redefine their focus in attempt to solve the problem, not watching or not spreading only bad news, but also trying to see what can be done about it. And that's exactly what we've been talking about. So let's watch a video to illustrate that saying, and we talk a little bit more after about that.
The 22nd year of the 21st century. People waste precious time at jobs they don't love to provide for their existence, while they could use artificial intelligence to create a comfortable living environment and do what they really enjoy. They struggle for health and they die of supposedly incurable diseases, while they could prevent the development of diseases at their inception stage and use technology to prolong life. Garbage has flooded the planet. Clean air and water have become a luxury. Meanwhile, we could solve the environmental problem once and for all and turn the Earth into a true paradise. Scientists of the world calculate how many years remain for humankind to live until the mineral resources run out. Although we could master free energy technology and achieve abundance for everyone. People kill each other for mercantilistic interests of a few individuals, instead of living in peace, making joint decisions, constantly evolving and exploring other planets. The climate wipes entire cities off the face of the earth, depriving people of everything, including their lives. But we could already combine all the scientific potential and not only solve the climate problem, but also artificially control the weather. Time cannot be turned back, but we still have a chance to change everything. Learn more at the International Forum on May the 7th. Global Crisis, We Are People, We Want to Live, and choose your own future.
Yes, so this video is actually was showing what you guys were talking about, that the media are focusing on the problems, and that's creating even more problems. I think Sparsh was talking about it. And what I like about this video, that it's actually, yes, it's showing the truth, it's showing the problem, but it's also showing the solution, which is very important, and it gives hope to people. They can see the, light at the end of the tunnel. And as we were talking about today, the problem with the media is also the negativity. And today, the negative news, they fly around the world very quickly. But why does news about new technologies, which were presented at the forum, and the way out of these problems, they are not being spread that fast? Why are the solutions a way out of consumer society not being spread by media? Why it is not propagated everywhere? Many people actually were telling us in the comments, and many people were talking about who were watching the forum Global Crisis, Where People Want to Live. They were shocked that they didn't know about all these technologies which are already in place. For instance, how to create water from vapor. That was news for me. I had no idea something like that exists. Desalination methods, so yes, they may be here for some time, but also vertical farms were great. All these modular houses, how Chinese were able to make a hospital in a few days. That was actually pretty amazing to see. And why is this kind of information not being spread like a wildfire? Because if all these honest journalists, they provide this truthful information, then we have, everybody will learn about these solutions very quickly. And we can, solve all these problems with water, with the food, because right now, all of us already heard there's going to be a problem with food. There's going to be food crisis pretty soon. And we know this is very easily, solvable problem with the vertical farms, for instance. So in my opinion, if people know the truth, if people know the information, they can unite, they can do something about it. And even though if small media talk about it, that is great. Okay, the big media don't want to talk about it. Well, but we have great example of small media, in every country, they talk about it, and more media will talk about it, the better, and the faster people will learn about it. So I would like to ask you guys now, what do you think? How it will work in the creative society, and what benefits will it give us?
All right. So if I go first, so again, talking about the creative society, we have the foundations of creative society easily accessible to everyone on the website. So you can just go to the website, you can read about the foundations, the 8 foundations of the creative society. And this is another act of media. The media, what exactly it is? The medium to pass on the information, the medium to pass on the solutions to make this planet a better place. And that is what we are doing at the creative society. With this, one more very important thing is that the creative society is away from the hunger for getting social entitlement. Even in the small media, when teenagers and young adults run their own media houses, they are hungry for something known as the social entitlement. So it's not just that the big media is full of issues and the small media is just an ideal condition for information to be passed on. No, it's not the case. Even in the small media, people want to act cool by talking about crucial information, and the lack of expertise make them, unintentionally pass on the fake news just to act cool. For instance, if we talk about, there are different identities of people. There are different people with their own different orientations. Now, people have, all of us want to talk about LGBTQ. All of us have to talk about climate change. All of us have to talk about all these issues. But do we really know about them? Have we actually researched about them through various resources? Have we talked to experts? Most of the cases, no. We just want views on our reels on Instagram. And that's why we can just talk anything about all these crucial issues and pass on such fake news that people just end up losing it. People don't really know how these things can be solved. People don't really know what exactly is it like to be a part of LGBTQ community. People don't know how to ally with them. But the problem comes is that as they want more views, as they want more social entitlement, they are just after that. They, even without knowing, they just want to talk about it to create a sense of, something that they are superior than others. See, I know about it, you don't know, even if the person don't know actually anything about it. I know it might sound kiddish, but that is actually truth about today's world. People just want to talk about anything, and they don't really know about it.
Thank you for your answer on that topic. So, kind of the same question for you, Rakib. What would you see in a creative society, the benefits around the media by looking at spreading the information in a different way, and maybe also a different information?
Thank you. It's a great question. Actually, if you talk about first to spreading the information, people have to know about the real condition of the world in different types of factors, different types of sectors. Then we can talk about the solution. So between these two gaps, information and solution, I think one important thing is unity. So why we are supporting creative society, the most important thing is that we are all united in the whole world, because everybody know about the information and solution, but how we can implement this solution, this is one more important thing. So I think creative society is the best platform, and we are all united under one goal, this is humanity. So I think unity is the best way to implement this solution. So when we able to spreading the true information of all kind of important factors, then we can implement the solution of these problems, and unity will be the key factors to solving these problems. So I think creative society is a big platform to unite all peoples all around the world. Actually, I am very much surprised. I think I don't know before or after creative society, this is the only platform. This is united all people all around the world, because United Nations, this is set up on 1945, and there are different types of agencies also working in different types of sectors, but true solution haven't been come yet. So what's the problem of that? I think they are not truly united. They are not set their mind in one goal. So I think this is a problem. So I think creative society is different from all kind of things that creative society are working on one goal. This is humanity, and all around the world, all peoples are working to united to solving these problems under one goal. This is humanity. So I think when creative society are working for humanity, and everybody are just working from their own sector. So I think if we can able to spreading the information, then solution can be solved by all peoples from their own sectors. Because if we working in Bangladesh, we can able to spreading the idea of creative society to all the peoples of Bangladesh. They can perceive the real problems. Then we can unite it. This is not only for Bangladesh. This is we can working for all around the globe. So some factors are very much common. So if we can unite it, we can easily solve any kind of problems, and we can use our true media platform to spreading the true news. I think true news is very much important, because most of the medias are working for money. Most of the journalists are working for money. They are just spreading false news because of money is spreading the lame news rather than the most important news, the people suffering war or some kind of inflation, political problems. This is the atypical thing. So I think creative society is the best way, and everybody know the EAT Foundation Creative Society. There's the solution of all problems. And sometimes people ask me why you support creative society. I think they are just give an example that creative society is such types of things is looking like some communism, but then I told them not creative society is working for everybody, not just people for who are working or who are labor, who are farmers. Creative society are working for all peoples, poor, rich, billionaire, laborers, all peoples. For creative society are just wanted to build a happy, peaceful world for everybody. And there will be no problems, and EAT Foundation of the Creative Society is just amazing. This is the, I think, best solution for all kinds of problems. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And can I ask like one practical question? Like, what do you think? What can honest journalists do already right now? Like one step, what can they do to improve media?
I think nowadays journalists are one of the main person who can change our world, because world is his hand. He can spreading any information. So if he want to spread true news, true important news, he can change a lot of things, because on before we see some those examples, because in war condition, some war-torn countries on Middle East, we see journalists are doing a tremendous thing. So a journalist is always on key part to change our world. On the other hand, we see that a lot of fake journalists are spreading some fake news, and it's also creating trouble. So I think a journalist is a honest job that he can change our world. So that's why I'm choosing this sector, so to doing something positive to change our world.
Thank you so much. And Sparsh, the same question for you.
Yes, I'd like to add. So journalists are the bridge that connect the common people with what's actually happening. So common people and reality, the bridge, this is where the journalists stand. This is something which is very much concerning, is that journalists are being pressurized by their higher authorities to produce that kind of news that people want to see, or the news media wants to show. And this is something which is really problematic. Journalists are not free. They do not have the liberty to present their own opinions after viewing the ground reality along with the facts. And these facts and the opinions should not be merged together. There should be a clear, distinct difference between, yes, this is the fact and this is the opinion, but they both must be valued. This is something. Number two, about creative society. Creative society teaches us how to live in harmony with other people, how to neglect the self-imposed geographical boundaries amongst nations. And thanks to a media, which is already 24/7 working together to boost the hatred among the regions. Why is it that people of India and people of Bangladesh they have a general view of hating each other? Why is it so? Why people of India and Pakistan, especially these countries, have a general view of hating each other when this is not the case if you talk directly to the people? Why is it so? Because India was that country which liberated Bangladesh. They gave them a new life under, great pressure, and it was called as East Pakistan before. Now it's not the case. It has a separate identity of its own. They have the right of self-determination that President Woodrow Wilson, it is his idea that now nations are implementing. But thanks to media, they are here to boost hatred. I don't hate Mr. Mahdi, and Mr. Mahdi doesn't hate me. That's why we are here, thanks to Creative Society. But if Creative Society and this open media or social media wouldn't have been there, would we have a similar idea? No. We might be hating each other that, yes, this person is from India, oh my God, no. Or this person is from Bangladesh, oh no, I shouldn't talk to him. No, that's not the case. And this is where Creative Society and good media plays a role. You cannot hide the truth for really long. Of course, people love to, live in their false dreams, but for how long? Truth will actually come up. And there are organizations and something like Creative Society where people are united. They are working in harmony without some sort of boundaries, without any, any discrimination over religion, race, caste. No, it's just us people, Homo sapiens, which are there to share their ideas and make this planet. I'm repeating it, but that's something that we are doing at Creative Society. At the end of the day, our goal is to make this planet livable. And that's what we are doing.
Great. Thank you very much for your answer, and very illustrating the benefits that we can see in the Creative Society from a media platform or community working for the sake of human, because that's the first foundation of the Creative Society, that the human is the highest value, and media should communicate everything around that first foundation to be focused on the human and nothing else. Another aspect of the foundation that is very clearly linked to the media is the fourth foundation that I would like to re-emphasize on, because it fits very well with what we have been discussing today. Because the first foundation of the Creative Society, it's all about transparency and openness of information for all. Every human has the right to receive reliable information about the movement and distribution of public funds. Each human has access to information about the status of implementation of the society's decision. Mass media belongs exclusively to the society and reflect information truthfully, openly, and honestly. I think it's a great summary of what we've been discussing today regarding the situation in which we are, where the media is driven by money, and the shift that we all need to have towards the media in order to shift that to a more human approach. Something interesting about the media that we talked about and that we say is that media behave the same way as any other organization, using information as a good that they are selling. So if we are keep ourselves, the people, if we keep on demanding that type of information, if we keep on consuming that type of information, we are just keeping this mass media machine going into this consumer format of society. So one way to start will be to refocus ourselves, our attention on the information we want to see more, and to shift this demand into a more positive aspect, and potentially the media might just follow. Thank you very much for the time that you've been with us, dear guest, regarding the way you are already acting in your field to make a positive change. There is more media supporting the Creative Society that spread this information, spreading the truth, and making sure that as many people as we can be aware about new technology, new way of doing things, basically the solution of our problem, because that's the core of how we're going to build our future.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Jonathan. And thank you, dear guests, for such inspirational discussion, for such inspirational experts talk. I really enjoyed it. And also thank you, dear viewers, for being with us. And we hope you enjoyed our show. I'm sure you did. And now we would like to invite all experts to join our new show, Experts Talk. And this format is really interesting because it is providing a platform for colleagues from the same field, many times from different countries, to discuss different problems in their field, share their experiences, but more importantly, share ideas and changes that needs to be made in each field in order for it to work effectively and beneficially for all people. And it doesn't have to be just media. It can be scientists, doctors, all different kinds of specialists of different fields, but experts from the field. And for other people, we have also going to have different types of shows, but they will be discussed in a different broadcast. And if you would like to join these expert talks, please contact us at info@creativesociety.com. And also, I would like to announce that we are already in the preparation for the next forum, which is going to be titled Global Crisis, Our Survival is in Unity. And the preparation is already underway. So if you would like to participate and join this great event, also please join us at write us email at info@creativesociety.com. Thank you so much. And we see you at the next expert talks or next international discussions. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Dear guests. Thank you.